Today's class, we are going to assemble our hitch. We've created the receiver, the tractor side. We've created the wagon side and the hitch there. We've made a pin and a cotter pin. So we've got 4 components that we're going to bring in and assemble. So the first thing we're going to do is, if you see the blank screen, we're going to save the file. There's my mouse, there it is. Save it, and we're going to name it test assembly. Okay, that's what I've got. I've already done this, so you need to do it as well. It's going to be your assembly file. An assembly file is nothing special. It's a fusion file, but it's just simply the file where we're going to bring our components that we've already created in. Okay, let's start off with the receiver for the tractor side. I'm going to find the file over here in my data panel. I'm going to right click on it and insert into current design. All right, now I'm going to position this. I don't have to necessarily at this point, but I'm going to look at it from the top. I'm going to drag it right down the axis, and I'm just going to center the hole over the origin. Okay, so that's good. Click OK. Go back to the home position. I have brought the receiver into this file. Now I'm going to go ahead, right click on it in the browser, and I'm going to ground this particular component. I don't want this component to move, okay? So it's going to be grounded. Now the next item we're going to bring in is the hitch. So here's the file I want in the data panel. I'm going to right click on it, insert into current design. And there it is. Now it's not really where I want it. I'm going to drag it back, and we're going to create a joint between these two. So I'm not going to try and position it here. I'm going to position it through the joint. Okay. So I'm getting it out of the way where I can get in and see the bottom side of the tongue. And that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to click OK. Take a quick look at it from the right side. That's what it looks like there. And now I've already grounded this. It's in my timeline there. So there's my timeline. There's the first component inserted, the grounding, second component inserted. That ground could come now after I inserted the second one. It doesn't really make any difference here. But let's create the joint. All right, assemble, joint. Component 1 is the component that has motion, that I'm going to have motion. I've already grounded the receiver. So I'm going to join the upper part, the center of the hole here, to the center of the hole underneath the top tongue. So I've rotated around where I can see. Let's get the outer edge. Now if I scroll over, I'm going to lose that particular center point that I want. So there's the outer edge. Now I'm going to hold the control key down, and it won't move for me. So now I can select it. Click. I've selected my snap point. I guess I may want to make define my motion here. So I'm going to click on the motion tab, and I want this to be the revolute. There we go. I've clicked on that. Back to the position tab. Let's go back to the home position. And now for component 2, I'm going to define. There's the outer edge. Hit the control key. Click on the center. And there we are. And it's in position. Let's go look at the top view. It's lined up nicely. Go back to the home view. Let's go see it from the right side. Yeah, it looks pretty good. There's no gap in there. It's right where it should be. If I selected the wrong portion of the hole, it might snap in the wrong place. We've got fillet on that hole, so it gives us a potential problem there. Back to the home position. I'm going to click OK. My joint looks good. Now, I need to add some limits to my joint. If I right click and animate model, yeah, that's not what it's going to do, is it? Doesn't go 360 degrees. Escape. Right click on the joint, edit joint limits. All right, I'm going to set a minimum here. I'm going to grab it and rotate it. Give it to me. There we go. That's going positive. I'm going to come back this way. I'm going to type in a negative 90 degrees. Okay. And that's going to be the minimum. I'm going to make my maximum 90 degrees. There it is over there. So we've got a 180-degree turn from negative 90 to 90. Let's animate it. That looks pretty good. I'm going to click OK. And it snaps back. I'm going to right click, animate model. Perfect. Escape. We're ready to bring in the next piece. All right, let's bring in the pen. Right click on the pen, insert into current design. All right, so there we are. Now, let's remember the shaft of this is 80 millimeters. We'll need that for later. I'm going to move it straight up for right now so I can see the bottom and create my joint. All right, click OK. All right, now let's create our joint. So there's the shortcut for joint, assemble joint. The motion is going to be a slider. Back to the position. Let's roll it up. Component 1 will be the pin. Let's find the center of this bottom there. It's not a hole, so I don't need to hold the control key. There we go. Roll it back over, and I want to line it up with the center here. We'll position it in a minute. Control over the hole. There's my center point. All right, now, like I said, the pin, this section here is 80 millimeters long. Let's go ahead and bring it down to 80, negative 80. All right, so now I've kind of got part of my positioning taken care of there. All right, so let's click OK. There's slider 2 in the browser. I'm going to right click, animate. Go too far down, isn't it? Okay. Escape. Let's edit our limits. And the maximum. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to come up 90 millimeters. Not there yet. 90. Minimum should be 0. See what that does. Looks pretty good. Okay, that's in place. Check it here. Animate model. Looks good. All right, last piece, cotter pin. There's my component. Right click, insert into current design. All right, let's just kind of get it into place here. I'm going to bring it down, slide it over, and I want to rotate it over negative 90 degrees. That looked like a good starting point. Actually, I'm going to bring it out just a little bit further. Click OK. All right, so we've got to line this part of the cotter pin up with the hole in the pin. So let's spin it around where we can see. And let's create our joint. So there's the end of my cotter pin. Good. Click. I'm going to line it up with this hole. All right. Swing it around. That looks pretty good. Now, let's go ahead and slide the cotter pin on to start off with. I'm going to rotate it around so I can see from the bottom. Okay. And I'm going to bring that cotter pin over to where it just touches. Too far. Your numbers are going to be different because we didn't place it an exact number from where we brought it in. So I want, that's almost good. So 24, 23. That looks pretty good to me. You know what? I may do 22 and a half. Yeah, I think that's got it right there. Okay, that looks good. Notice I've got, you know what? Let's just go back to 22. That looks better. All right, so this is just touching there. Click OK. Let's check our motion. All right, we've got a lot of work to do here. Escape. Edit joint limits. Let's check on the maximum. I'm going to come out 50 millimeters there. That looks pretty good. Let's animate. Yeah, let's set the minimum 0. Looks good. Click OK. Go to the home position. Animate. Model on the last one. Yes, that looks good. Escape. And guess what? We are done with the assembly of our hitch. All right, you got through it.